Alright, remove lid, use 10mm socket to... What's that? You need a little clean. Yeah, well... Oh hi, welcome back. I'm James. This is the Breville Smart Grinder Pro. Say hello. Today, I'm going to show you how to clean him, but it... First things first, guys, we remove the lid and we undo the lock in the middle. Next, we empty the hopper into this container, or any container. This is a good feature, this lock, because when it's on the grinder, locked, the base of it is open. As soon as you unlock it, it prevents the beans coming out as you lift it, and then you can lock it again to release them into something else. We'll get rid of that. I'm also going to remove this cradle, get it out of our way, and I'm going to run through the rest of the loose beans that are sitting in between the hopper and the blades. That sound means all the beans have gone through. You'll see people using containers to do this, which is fine, you can do that, but a quicker and easier way is just to go straight onto the tray and pull the tray out and then tip that in the bin. To the workbench. Right, the grinder's on the workbench. I'm going to remove this hopper one more time. And that has exposed the inner workings. Breville, bless their hearts, have made this quite easy to take the top burr out. In fact, it's very easy to take the top burr out. So we're just going to remove some of this crud from the outside here. We've got some of it off. And then it's an easy release mechanism, really, you call it. You can see here we have lock, which is in its current position, and then this is a line. We're turning the top burr from lock to a line, crunching through all that coffee there and excess coffee beans. We're going to take out the top burr, and now we've gone down to a new level to see the bottom burr or blade. So I'm just going to loosen up some of these coffee grinds around the edge now, and then I'm going to get the old vacuum over here to give it a proper clean out, to get rid of the excess ground coffee that's in there. All right, let's get sucking. Beauty of this vacuum cleaner is it goes right over that burr. And it's strangely satisfying. So all the excess ground coffee is now being vacuumed out. It's looking a little bit cleaner. So using the little Breville brush that came with the grinder, I'm just going to brush out the top burr and get the excess coffee build up off that blade inside there, around the sides. This was actually slightly dirtier, but I dropped it on the table and that knocked most of the coffee grounds out. But that's okay, we can use our imagination. But this is definitely, despite how much use it's had, it's not overly dirty, which is good to see. As coffee builds up inside these edges here, against the sharp edges of the blade, you can actually dull them and make the blade behave like an older blade. So you can see, top burr is pretty clean. The bottom burr is fairly clean. And that's what you might do if you're just going to clean it semi-regularly. Like if you only want to do it maybe once a month, if you're using your grinder on weekends, maybe a couple of times during the week, you might do it that frequency. But I'm going to show you how to go down one more layer and remove the bottom burr here. Now the easiest way to get this guy out is to use a 10mm socket. And as is the way, I don't really know why, with a lot of grinders, I know Mazda do this as well with their grinders, the bottom burr is held on a left-hand thread, meaning loosey-lefty, righty-tighty goes out the window, and we're talking righty-loosey.
Okay.
That's finger tight now, that top nut, so I'm going to remove that first. And then that leaves behind a split washer, and then below the split washer, there's a flat washer. So you very, very carefully remove them without dropping them inside the grinder. I probably should have used a magnet to do that, and no doubt the more professional amongst you will do that when you're cleaning yours. If you can't find a magnet, use a pointy coffee wand cleaning tool. This is good. This is showing you guys that not everything's that easy. Things don't always want to cooperate. This washer is one. I'll tell you what I might do here, guys. Now, the more wild amongst you might want to try and take these off using your fingers and try and lift them up. The split washer comes off quite easily. The flat washer though, he doesn't want to come off. So an easier way to do it, I would suggest, is to slide this bottom burr off, keep it level, and just place it down. So this is our bottom burr. Next, we're going to pull out this impeller. Now this can be tricky too, but I think I've got the right tool for it this time. There we go. Get hold of him like that. Now this little fella's job is to steer or drive the coffee towards the chute at the front of the grinder. And as you can see, where it catches the coffee, it's got a little build up. So again, we'll go in with our brush. These are the two pins that help lock it onto the bottom burr. And then the shape of this helps you locate it onto the shaft at the bottom here. So you can't really go wrong when putting this back. It can only go on in one position. So you don't need to worry about that. I think all in all, this is pretty easy. This is quite low maintenance. If any of you have ever cleaned a Malconic E65, you know what I'm talking about. It takes you on a journey that you quite literally feel like you're never going to come back from. Okay, so this is our impeller nice and clean now, more or less. Let's just give it a little underside, a quick 1-2. Okay, we've reached the bottom of our burr chambers now, and I think all that's left to do is give everything a vacuum. Going to get rid of the excess around the edges here. We're going to get Henry the vacuum out. Shout out to Henry Vacuum Cleaners, by the way. If you're watching from England, you're probably quite familiar with Henry's. We love ours. Look at that, nice clean grinder. We're just going to give it a wipe over with a microfiber. Okay, so we're going to rebuild our grinder starting with our impeller. If you look at the shaft, the shape of it, it's a round shaft with two flat sides. I'm going to line it up roughly to the shape in front of me here and carefully lower that on. It just sits in position like that. You can clearly see the two locking pegs there. Next, the bottom burr goes on and the two locking pegs locate in those two holes. Just a matter of dropping it on, finding the pegs, and you feel it drop down a little bit further, you know you've got them. All right, the next thing to go on is the flat washer. It will do in most cases if you've got a flat washer than a spring washer. The spring washer tends to be behind the nut. By split washer, I mean one of them, and all that does is create a bit of tension between the bottom burr and the nut to hold the nut in place and stop it undoing itself. Now the nut goes on, and again, we're gonna start by turning it lefty-tighty. I can't believe that's not a thing. So therefore, I'm going to switch my socket wrench to off, even though we're putting it on, and off we go. Next, we're going to put in our top burr, and we're looking to align the red arrow with a line, turn, and then lock. We then fold down the handle like that. Our hopper goes in next. We turn it until it locates, and then, like it says, turn to lock. Replace the cradle we took off earlier. Slide our tray back into place. Our beans go back in the hopper, most of them. Now, just to make sure that we didn't break anything. Looking good. Beautiful. What's that, mate? You all clean, ready for the party? Yeah, that's right. Party's later though. Shh. So there you go, one clean grinder. Pretty easy really, wasn't it? Breville do make it incredibly simple to remove all the components that need cleaning and get to the inside of the grinder. And with 3 tools plus a vacuum cleaner. So, sorry, what? Henry, the vacuum cleaner? My favourite? No, who told you that? Anyway, there's really 2 halves to the clean. There's the light clean, which is just the top burr removal, brush the coffee grounds out, maybe a quick vacuum. And the other half, I guess you could call a deep clean, is removing the bottom burr, giving that a good clean, cleaning further down into the grind chamber. And that really will make a difference if your espresso flavour has changed recently, or you're struggling to maybe dial in the grinder. If it's suddenly jumping around a bit and you're constantly having to make changes, that could be why. Hopefully, you've cleaned it, you've put it back together, it's still working, and you've noticed an improvement. If that's the case, our job is done. We hope you got something from this video and that you enjoyed it. And if you did, if you could please hit like, and if you haven't already, also hit subscribe. It really helps get our video out to a much broader audience and grows the channel, meaning that we can make more and more of these videos for all you awesome people. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
I love you, bye.